What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Euro NBA video. So in today's video I'm going to be talking about the Phoenix Suns. So the Phoenix Suns have the first overall pick in the NBA draft. They won the draft lottery a couple weeks ago, and this is who I think they will pick and who I think they might pick. So there's only really two names that I have to bring up, DeAndre Ayton and Luka Doncic, because if they pick anybody else besides one of those two players, I think the NBA is gonna go into a frenzy. But I don't know. So DeAndre Ayton. Let's just start with DeAndre Ayton. He went to college in Arizona, which is that's where Phoenix is at, is in Arizona. Them I don't think that persuades the Suns to take him. I don't think just because he went to Arizona, the Suns are going to take him. Because, let me give you a reason why why I think the Suns might not pick DeAndre Ayton. Because, there's been a whole bunch of mock drafts that I've seen online where they're where they think the Suns are going to pick DeAndre Ayton. And, they have some good points, but this is my opinion on Ayton going to the Suns. So he's a 7'1" center. He's decent at defense, but I think he just doesn't really try that much on defense, which is worrying because if you don't really try on defense, that's bad. And he's really good on offense. But here's the thing: the Suns do need a good big man, but they drafted a bunch of other big men in the past, Dragon Bender, Marquise Chris, and Alex Len, and all those people. And those prospects, they haven't really panned out, but it's still early in their career. They could still pan out, except for Alex Len. I think he's just gonna be trash his whole career. But maybe he could turn into a freaking maybe he could turn into a decent role player. I don't know, but this is why I think the Suns should not pick him. They still might, but I don't know. So DeAndre Ayton, the Suns need a big man that just can play some defense and score, because Devin Booker, he's just doing too much. He needs a second player to take the load off of him and score, so he doesn't have to score all the time. And they have Josh Jackson, which he kind of did that. He's a decent scorer, but he's a really good defender. So I mean, Josh Jackson has been helping, but they need another scorer. And DeAndre Ayton, he can do that for you. He could score in the post. He could occasionally shoot that 3-pointer. He could shoot mid-rangers if you really want him to. He could just body anybody in the paint. He could just drive to the hoop. And then, he's just an offensive god. But here's the thing. He's kind of slow-footed. Well, he's not super slow-footed. So small shooting guards and stuff like that, they could take him off the dribble, but he might be able to still get block them from behind when he does get driven by. I don't know if that even is the right words to say. I don't know, but his defense is where it's really worrying. When you look at him, he's swole. He has all this muscle and stuff. But in college, he wasn't really he only averaged 2 blocks. And then when you look at him, you would think he would average 4 or 3 or 4. But because Mo Bamba, he's taller, but he's a lot skinnier. So you would think that DeAndre Ayton and Luke and Mo Bamba would have the same amount of freaking blocks, or maybe DeAndre Ayton would have more, but no. And then when you watch his highlights, or when you watch the games that he played at Arizona, he just didn't look interested when he was playing defense. So I don't know, maybe that's just maybe it was just because he was in college. I don't know, but he didn't really look interested when he was playing defense at college. So I don't know. Hopefully, his coach will probably tell him you gotta be better on defense, and maybe he will just start getting better at defense. But No. But he shot 73% from the field. That's amazing. He shot 34% from the three-point line, so he could make that three-pointer if he's wide open. And he averaged 12 rebounds a game in college, so he could get you a rebound too. And he averaged 20 points in college, so he could definitely like do stuff on the offensive end, but it's just like the defense that worries me. And also, I watched a video. I forgot who it was, but if I find the video, I'll link it in the description. But if I didn't, I just can't remember. But if I do find a video, I will. I think it was somebody doing a mock draft video. If I find the video, I'll link it in the description. But basically, they were saying that DeAndre Ayton can't be a number one option on a championship team because like he was just like, because he can't be a number one option on a championship team because like big men, like perimeter players are like more dominant in today's NBA. So I kind of agree with that a little bit, but I don't know, maybe he can like turn into a good like player on a championship, the number one option on a championship team. But I don't know, like he's probably gonna be an all-star when he goes to the NBA. And then there's Luka Doncic as the other player for the Phoenix Suns to pick. Luka Doncic. There's been news that the Suns might pick him because the Suns hired the coach that they hired the coach that coached Luka Doncic in the EuroLeague, and then they won a championship in the EuroLeague. So like the coach would already have chemistry with Luka Doncic, but you wouldn't have to worry about the coach not having chemistry issues with Luka Doncic because it's the same coach that he had in the EuroLeague. So that's a plus. Also, he's a good playmaker. He will be a good playmaker for the Suns, which is pretty good because Devin Booker has been doing like all the playmaking for the Suns the past couple years, and that like Luka Doncic could just help the Suns with like having another playmaker, so Devin Booker doesn't have to do everything. Also, it could like, since they won't be drafting DeAndre Ayton, it could help the Suns big men that they drafted in the lottery before to develop more. Also, Luka Doncic is a good three-point shooter. He can knock down a lot of three-pointers, and he could create his own shot, which is pretty good. The only knock that people have on him is that he's not really athletic. He's decently athletic, which is a worry because, in the NBA, you kind of have to be like athletic, like at least decently athletic to even be an all-star in the league. I mean, you can be an all-star without like being athletic. Like Kyle Korver was an all-star back in like 2015 when all he really does was shoot threes and he wasn't really that athletic. But I think his athleticism is not going to be a worry because all he does is play make, and then you don't really have to be athletic to play make. And then he has a three-point shot, so that's pretty good. And he could take people off the dribble with his crossover moves. So I think he's going to be fine without the super athleticism in the NBA. And he has a little bit, he has decent, like he has a little above average athleticism. I'm trying to think in my mind, like his highlights that I watched. I'm trying to like, yeah, he could dunk. Like he has above average athleticism. And the coach knows how he plays, so he will tell Luka Doncic. He like knows how to make Luka Doncic a good player on the court. So I think the Suns should pick Luka Doncic in the draft because he has the same coach. He would have the same coach. He will take the playmaking duties off of Devin Booker, and he's a good three-point shooter, and he is a good playmaker, and he could take people off the dribble, and he could finish with contact at the rim. So, my computer just shut off, but there it goes. So I think they should pick Luka Doncic, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they pick DeAndre Ayton though, because DeAndre Ayton, he's pretty good too. So yeah, and then if you like remember, like back in the day, Kobe and Shaq, that was a shooting guard center duo that won a bunch of championships, and then Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton will be like the next, would be a similar shooting guard center duo that might win a couple of championships. So I wouldn't be mad if they pick DeAndre Ayton, but well, I wouldn't be surprised because I don't really care what the Suns do because I'm not a Suns fan. But so yeah, I think the Suns should just pick Luka Doncic with the number 1 pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if they pick DeAndre Ayton with the pick. But yeah, that's gonna be all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and I'll see you next time.